All right, guys, take a look at this. This was something that I found. It was so interesting. It worked. It was 100%. This is one of those old school, I want to say it's a penny arcade game or a 10-cent arcade. It's called the New Frontier. Some people call it the Sheriff's Frontier. It's what they call a gallery shooter. This thing has no electricity. It basically runs on springs. And this thing was mint. It was absolutely beautiful. Now, I've always seen things like this. Like, I would always bump into stuff like this, but it never worked. It never ever worked. Like, the gun wouldn't work. Like, it just never worked. Like, you seen it, it looked cool, but it was almost too good to be true because it just didn't work. This one worked 100%. That gun, whatever's in that gun, that spring is tight. Really, really tight. And it worked beautifully. And you shot, these little metal balls, and they hit the targets. The whole thing is made of metal, at least the inside of it. And the targets you hit are all metal. And when it hits, it's a target. It's a gallery shooter. It's an old school, fully working gallery shooter I found in this. It was a little village that was called Smithsville up in New Jersey. And in this village, it was like an old time. It was like a village from like the 18th century. I don't know how else to put it. It almost looked like something out of a Christmas Carol. And then they had this little house, this little village type house. Couldn't have been more than, I don't know, I guess I'll say 10 by 10 maybe. Like, it wasn't a big space. And he had like a couple of games. All the games he had were a lot of these penny arcades and love testers, things like that. And they all worked. And this game worked beautifully. And I said, let me, get this. Let me play this. I played this a couple of times. I haven't really even seen a lot of videos. I think I seen one video on YouTube of this game. And so I figured I'd play it. I don't know when I'm ever going to be back to Smithsville or whatever this village is. I found it by accident just driving through, and I came in and I walked around. It was a place that looked absolutely amazing. It was just a village. I don't know how else to put it, with all kind of specialty shops. And it had this little arcade. He had this sign that said arcade. I walked in. He did have an arcade game. He had a Pac-Man machine, like a Pac-Man, one of those Pac-Man Galaga machines. But then he had all these little penny arcades. And I figured I'd take a video of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let this play out full, and you guys can see it and hear it. And that's it. Now, if you know anything more about this, please leave a comment below. I love to read your comments. And that's it. I hope you guys are doing well, and God bless you guys.